Hello, my name is Clayton Mann, and this is my MBA oral capstone presentation. The presentation you're about to view will be given over two separate video segments. Part 1 is this video segment you're watching now. Part 2 will have to be viewed separately. Over the presentation, I will be discussing how I qualify to become a TRAX operations supervisor in two separate areas. First, the discussion will give background information about how I have the experience to become a TRAX operations supervisor based on 7 different business competencies. These competencies are leading people and teams, developing sustainable solutions, serving customers, managing products and services, managing technology and innovation, assessing the competitive competition, and planning for the future in the global marketplace. Second, I will discuss how my MBA degree has prepared me in each of these 7 previously mentioned business competencies. The first video segment that we'll have here will give background information as to what TRAX is, what a TRAX operations supervisor is responsible for, and it will also cover how I have the required experience to become a TRAX operations supervisor through discussing the 7 business competencies. The second video segment will cover the discussion on how my MBA degree has prepared me in each of the 7 core business competencies. So, what is TRAX, and what is a TRAX operations supervisor responsible for? TRAX is a light rail system which is part of the Utah Transit Authority. A TRAX operations supervisor is responsible for a number of things. Operating radio control for train rooms for trains to call in, responding to problems in the rail system such as broken grade crossing gates or malfunctioning train signals, standing at busy train stations during busy events to provide crowd control, helping trains to turn around at the end of the line when it's a busy time like rush hour. Several different things you can do as a TRAX operations supervisor. According to the official website for UTA, rideuta.com, to qualify to become an operations supervisor, one must meet certain requirements. First of all, you must have a familiarity with rail transit, and you have to have an associate's degree in a field that is relevant. You have to have 4 years of leadership experience. You must be able to type at least 20 words per minute and be familiar with Microsoft Office software. If you're a current UTA employee, which I am, you must not have any formal disciplinary action within the last 12 months, and you must not have any relatives for which you'd be supervising. So how do I meet these requirements for an operations supervisor position? I have been an employee for UTA for over 3.5 years. 5 of those months has been direct TRAX experience, so I'm very familiar with rail transit. Not only do I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Phoenix, but in a couple of months I will have my MBA from the Western Governors University, so I have more than enough experience with education. I have more than the required 4 years of leadership experience. I was an apartment manager for over a year, where I had to manage up to 4 employees and 64 units. I managed a group home for boys for over a year. In this position I managed up to 4 employees and also supervised the home where up to 6 boys could be sentenced to the home at a time. While getting my bachelor's degree from the University of Phoenix, in each of the classes there were projects which required participation in learning teams. More often than not, I volunteered to be the leader of those teams. So that's over 2 years experience. And I was district leader for over a year while serving my mission for my church. In this position, I would distantly supervise up to 5 sets of missionaries at a time in different geographical areas. And also in my church I have served in different positions in leadership, from the gospel doctrine teacher, choir president, activities director, etc. I can type over 35 words per minute. And through my education and prior work experience, I've become very familiar with the Microsoft Office software. I have not been placed on any formal disciplinary action within my employment at UTA at all, and I have no relatives that work at UTA, so that's not an issue. These are simply the bare minimum requirements to become a TRAX operations supervisor. To prove my ability to become a very effective operations supervisor, I'm going to discuss now why I qualify under those 7 previously mentioned business competencies. So, under leading people and teams. As I mentioned, I've had over 4 years of experience leading people and teams in different situations and for different organizations. Being able to lead as an operations supervisor is very important because you have a team of TRAX operators that you supervise. It's necessary to give solutions to problems people may have. Leading by example is very important. To be a good operations supervisor, you must be proactive by helping in any way you can to keep the rail system functioning. Employees will know if you're a proactive supervisor, and if you are, then they're going to be more willing to follow your lead. Developing sustainable solutions. When there's a problem in the rail system, it's necessary for an operations supervisor to respond with a sustainable solution almost immediately. An operations supervisor must be able to think very quickly about the problem and how it affects the rail system. This requires knowledge of the rail system and to be able to provide the solution. I have both of those qualities. Serving customers. I have over 17 years of experience in the workforce with customer service. Some may think that a supervisor does not need to provide customer service, but that's not so. I feel that a supervisor should be able to provide a higher level of customer service than other employees, because usually when there's a problem that comes to a supervisor, the employee was not able to solve that problem. I can provide a high level of customer service through showing empathy and providing solutions to the customer's problem. Managing products and services. UTA provides transportation services to millions of people every year. It is important for operations supervisors and all UTA employees to provide a safe, reliable transportation service in order to keep customers utilizing the service. As an operations supervisor, it would be my responsibility in managing our service to respond quickly when problems arise. In order to manage our transit service, it is necessary to delegate to employees how to respond to problems and also in their everyday work. I am qualified to manage UTA services. Managing technology and innovation. Managing technology and innovation for UTA consists of learning about new trains and new segments of rail when they're built and before they're utilized. This way, if a problem arises, with a new train, for instance, you're able as an operations supervisor to respond effectively and give a solution to that problem. Assessing the competitive environment. For UTA, assessing the competitive environment consists of observing other transit authorities nationwide and comparing our system to theirs. When the system has flaws, looking at other rail systems may provide necessary answers to correct these flaws. Finally, planning for the future in the global marketplace. When UTA is concerned about the global marketplace, they're thinking about resources they use, such as oil or electricity. For the light rail system, it's all electric, and they use electricity supplied through substations and local utilities. Finding ways to obtain this electricity more efficiently would be a growing concern which affects the global market. As an operations supervisor, I would not be involved in the decision-making process for global solutions to the marketplace. But, maybe in the future I might be in a position where this does affect me and I feel like I am prepared to meet that demand. This concludes the first video in my presentation. Please watch the second video for the conclusion to my presentation. Thank you.